Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the pod. So, one of the best ways, if you want to be a content creator, of coming up with ideas is just to go to social media, go to Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, wherever you are, and just scroll and pay attention to any posts or content that you have an emotional reaction to and viscerally disagree with. That is probably something that you can then take and create content out of. Like, talk on that thing, share your opinion about why you disagree, right? So, eating my own dog food here, I'm going to share with you guys that I saw this video on Instagram that I fundamentally disagree with in a very strong way, and I think it does a big disservice to people that buy into this narrative. So, I'm not going to call out who this was that said this, but they're a big, I would say, real estate investor, entrepreneur, kind of guru person on Instagram and YouTube even. And nothing but respect for the guy. He's got a big podcast, and he was saying that he believes that there really aren't fake gurus anymore. That's a thing that doesn't really exist. Like, fake gurus were a product of previous generations, and the fact that if you were a good marketer, you could do really, really well in the space. There wasn't a lot of other really quality influencers, specifically within like entrepreneurship or real estate investing, that you could compare that to. So it was very easy to go out there and pretend like you knew everything and like posture, because there just wasn't like great alternative sources of information at that time. His contention then is that with the rise of influencers like himself, I guess like myself as well, there's more quality people in the space now. His belief is that fake gurus don't really exist so much, because people can tell the difference between that and the real genuine product. And I fundamentally disagree with this, because, and I commented, I shared this with him, is that last year he brought somebody onto his podcast who had a book deal with with the biggest publishing house for real estate, BiggerPockets. And it turned out 6 or 7 months after he did that podcast interview with this guy, that this guy was indicted for $35 million of bank fraud. And I've talked about that story a bunch, because I know this guy personally that was indicted. I know deeply, like intimately, behind the scenes story around what all happened on this. And he was the epitome of a fake guru. And so I believe the fake guru economy is still going just as strong as ever. It is thriving. And I think it's a disservice when somebody with a really big platform, like this gentleman does, who I do respect. I think he puts out a ton of great content. I do think it does a disservice when somebody like that makes a declaration that there are no fake gurus, because then what it does is, like, the beginner who is just stepping into the space, they look to this person, they go, oh, he says it's safe, right? And so people that I come across, they must be okay then. Like, they must be genuine, because he said fake gurus don't really exist anymore. And I think that is the absolute wrong mindset. And I know so many people in this space still that I can point to that I would declare that's a fake guru. That is a person who has a very large following, and they are more known for being famous than they are for having actually done the thing. They're the Paris Hiltons of the space. That's really what a fake guru is to me. And so I see it, and I know that they're out there, and it's very difficult when you're new, when you're, from your perspective, standing at the bottom, to look up the staircase. Everybody kind of looks equally tall up there, right? They all look equally legitimate. And so I just thought, this is complete bullshit. The idea that the fake guru economy, or like that they don't really exist anymore, that is just simply not the case. So be careful out there. Do your due diligence, especially if you're going to buy into coaching and courses and all that stuff, because it can be expensive. However, I do also believe that that is one of the best ways, one of the highest ROI activities that you can engage in to accelerate your skills, to accelerate your business, is to pay for good coaching, pay for good courses. But just be careful with that, and understand that you're probably going to get burned every now and then, but that doesn't mean that you should write off that world entirely. Just know that there are, in fact, people out there hawking products that they know nothing about. And so you need to be careful. Don't just listen to what this one guy says when he says fake gurus don't exist anymore. I don't even know why he would say that. Like, does he just, I don't know. It boggles the mind, because it's like, are you just not paying attention? Do you just not look anywhere outside of your echo chamber? Like, look around. Like, there's tons of people on Instagram renting Lamborghinis and airplanes and like posturing. There's tons of that activity. So of course there's fake gurus. So all that's to say, something I'm passionate about is my soapbox. Hopefully you are going into, your relationships with coaches or with courses with your eyes wide open and just recognizing, yes, there is a chance that this is not a legitimate thing, but do your due diligence, try to talk to other students in the program, try to observe their content, see how others are talking about them in the space. Do they seem well respected? And then move confidently towards your goals. So hope this brings you a ton of value, guys and gals. Appreciate you being here. Stay hyper focused, and we'll see you back here tomorrow.